Hello, this is David from Flasc Paintball, and today I'm making a quick video tutorial on how to install a new microphone in a BT rip clip. There's a couple things you're going to need. Obvious ones are soldering iron, microphone upgrade, rip clip circuit board, solder, place to put your microphone when you're done. You're also going to need a desoldering tool of some kind. Actually use a pair of vice grips with a needle, just a tip I picked up off a soldering forum somewhere a long time ago. It actually works kind of well, and my soldering tools drove me nuts, so I haven't used it in a while. Also, if you're making a video while you're doing it and you're going to use a phone instead of video camera, you're going to have some kind of rigged mounting method to hold the phone, because apparently you need both hands to solder. So, let's get started here. Here's the circuit board. Now, these two pins here are the ones that for the mic on the other side. So the first thing you're going to want to do is remove the mic, the old mic. So, now let's see if I can actually do this while looking through or around a phone. If you put even pressure on both of them at the same time and give it a bit of a push, don't push too hard because you don't want to force it out, but let the heat from the soldering iron do the work. Usually it'll just fall out. That time it didn't. And that's where the tweezers come in. If it doesn't come out all the way, I usually just break it off. And then I will heat up the pins individually and just pull them out with the tweezers. For the record, this is already proving much more difficult trying to do this around or through a phone, but wish me luck. Okay, pins are out. Now we're going to have to remove the solder that's in those holes. So this is where this guy comes in handy. Just heat up the solder, push it right through. That second one resealed as I pulled it back out. I was a little bit too quick, so let's do that one again. Okay. Ta-da. Now, take a break for a second. This next part's very important. Eat 2 chocolate chips. There's a lot of work going into the soldering job, and you need to keep your energy up. Next thing you're going to want to do is get your microphone, put it in the holes, flip the board upside down, try and make sure the microphone doesn't fall out. I just hold it, it's basically sandwich it between the board and the solder. Hope you can see this. Okay. Now, as you can see, when I pushed the pin through, some of the solder came out the other side. So I'm actually going to try and use that solder, heat it up against the pin, and it'll basically just suck right into the hole. I'm just going to there, that was easy enough, and I didn't even need any extra solder. Now, what we're going to want to do is test it to make sure that that worked properly. Because every now and then you'll solder something in and it just doesn't want to work, or it's not as sensitive as you'd like it to be. So, first thing to do, 2 more chocolate chips. Testing is also a lot of work. Keep your energy up. just going to put this in the rip clip here. See if I can adjust this camera a little bit. By camera I meant my mount, actually. Okay. And apparently I'm very klutzy when trying to do something through a phone. Okay, board in, put the top on. Also, I've got cheap dollar store batteries in here right now. I always use cheap batteries for testing. Never use cheap batteries when playing. I just use them for testing just to make sure that even with the cheap batteries it's not that bad. So, now we're going to want to turn it on. Okay. Now, I'm going to get my... I'm not going to actually fire a marker inside right now. It's something like 1 o'clock in the morning, so I'm going to use something else for testing right now. A paintball pod. Doesn't make that much noise, works for testing. So just so you can see that. About 1.5 feet away now. Try and get the pod in here. Say I'm about 2 feet away now. Okay, and it's activating every time. Stop rip clip right beside it. It still doesn't activate. So that means that solder job was a success. So there you have it. Now, as a reward, you've still got 6 chocolate chips.